Hello friends, today we are going to start a very interesting and important subject, that is geography of health. This paper is specially prepared for the students of MA MSc Part 1st Geography. This paper has two credits. The external examination of this paper is about 30 marks and the internal marks covers about 20. Thus, this paper has overall 50 marks. So, this is an important subject of, for the students. So, let's start our lecture. The topic which we are going to cover in this lecture are meaning and definition of health, human health and geography, definition of geography of health, nature of geography of health. So, meaning and definition of geography of health. Before we begin, let me ask you a simple question. Is health only the absence of disease, or it is something more than that? Every day we hear about diseases like malaria, dengue, tuberculosis, diabetes and heart problems. But have you ever thought why some diseases are common in certain areas and not in others? Why do coastal areas face different health problems compared to desert or hilly regions? The answer lies in geography. In this unit, we will understand how place, climate, environment, and social conditions influence human health. We will see how diseases are connected with regions and how geographical factors play an important role in maintaining public health. This subject will help you understand health not only from a medical point of view but also from a geographical perspective. So, let's start our first slide, meaning and definition of health. Health means the overall well-being of a person. Health is an entire subject matter or concept of this paper. So, when we normally use the word health, many people think that health means not being sick. If a person does not have fever, cold, cough, or pain, we will say that the person is healthy. But this idea is incomplete. Health is much more than absence of disease. Health means overall well-being of a person. Overall well-being means the person should be well in three important aspects: physical, mental, and social well-being. Let us understand this slowly. Physical well-being. Physical well-being means the body is functioning properly. A physically healthy person has a proper body growth, strength and energy, ability to work and study, no frequent illness. For example, a student who eats balanced food, sleeps properly, and does daily physical activities is physically healthy. But physical fitness alone does not guarantee complete health. Mental well being means a person is mentally stable and relaxed. Mentally healthy person can think clearly, handle stress, take decisions calmly, face problems without fear. For example, a student who is always anxious, under pressure, or emotionally disturbed may not be mentally healthy even if the body is physically fit. So, mental health is equally important. Socially, social well-being means a person has good relations with family, friends, and society. A socially healthy person cooperates with others, lives peacefully in society, respects social rules, feels accepted by others. For example, a person who is isolated, neglected, or facing social discrimination may suffer from poor health even if there is no physical illness. WHO has defined our health. WHO, that is World Health Organization, has given a very important definition regarding health. According to WHO, health is not only the absence of disease but a stable, complete physical, mental, and social well being. This definition clearly shows that health is a complete condition, not a single factor. The word complete is a very important here. It means that all three aspects, physical, mental, and social, must be present together. This definition is very important. This definition helps us to understand that a person without disease is not always healthy. A healthy society needs healthy people in all aspects. Health depends on environment, lifestyle, social conditions, and mental state. For example, a factory worker without illness but working under extreme stress is not fully healthy. A person living in a polluted city may suffer from breathing problems. A poor child may suffer from malnutrition even without any diseases. Now let us understand the relationship between human health and geography. This is very important part of this chapter because it explains why health is studied as a geographical subject. Human health is not the same everywhere. It changes from place to place, region to region, and country to country. This happens because natural and human conditions are different in different areas. So first point is human health is closely related to the people where people live because natural and human conditions differ from place to place. The place where people live has a strong influence on their health. People living in a coastal areas, desert areas, hilly regions, or industrial cities do not face the same health problems. For example, people living in coastal regions face humidity related diseases. People in cold regions suffer more from respiratory problems. So, health is a spatial, meaning it is related to local. Second point, climate, relief, water availability, and food habits affect health. For example, hot and humid climate of Konkan support mosquito-borne diseases like malaria. Climate is one of the most important geographical factors affecting health. Temperature, rainfall, and humidity directly influence diseases. In hot and humid climate, insects like mosquitoes breed easily. For example, the Konkan region with heavy rainfall and humidity supports mosquito-borne diseases like malaria and dengue. Extremely hot regions experience heat stroke. Cold regions face problems like cough, cold, and pneumonia. Thus, climate plays a major role in determining health conditions. The relief, which is another point or another aspect which also affects the human health. Relief means physical shape of the land. Hilly and mountainous areas often have difficult transport system, have a fewer hospitals, face problems in emergency medical care. Water availability is also important. Clean water promotes good health, polluted or stagnant water causes diseases. For example, areas with poor drainage face waterlogging. Stagnant water becomes a breeding ground of mosquitoes. Unsafe drinking water causes cholera and hepatitis. Third point is there. Some diseases are found more in specific regions such as respiratory problems in polluted cities like Mumbai. Some diseases are found more in specific regions due to environmental and human factors. For example, respiratory diseases are common in polluted cities like Mumbai and Delhi. Silicosis and lung diseases are common in mining and industrial areas. Malnutrition is common in drought-prone and backward regions. This shows that diseases are not randomly distributed but follow geographical patterns. Fourth point, rural and urban areas show different health problems. Malnutrition is common in rural areas while stress related diseases are common in cities. Health problems differ greatly between rural and urban areas. In rural areas, malnutrition is common, medical facilities are limited, awareness about health is also low. But in urban areas, pollution related diseases are common. Stress, hypertension, and diabetes are increasing day by day. Lifestyle diseases are more common in urban areas. Thus, settlement patterns also affect health. Next point, availability of hospitals and doctors is not same everywhere, which affects treatment. Hospitals, doctors, and medical services are not evenly distributed. Cities have advanced hospitals and specialists. Rural and tribal areas depend on primary health centers. Remote regions face delays in treatment. Because of this, survival and recovery rates are differ from place to place. So, all these factors clearly shows that health is affected by environment, health is affected by location, health is affected by human activities. Therefore, geography helps us to understand regional health problems, identify disease prone areas, improve health planning and services. That is why geography plays an important role in understanding human health. Human health cannot be studied without geography. Now, next slide is definition of geography of health. Let's understand what is meant by geography of health. Geography of health is a branch of geography, which means it is specialized areas within geography. It focuses on human health but studies it from geographical point of view. So, geography of health is a branch of geography that studies the relationship between human health and geographical environment. It explains the distribution of diseases and health facilities in different regions. It also studies how factors like climate, water, housing, and occupation influence health, such as polluted water causing cholera. Geography of health studies the relationship between human health and geographical environment. This means how place affects health, how environment influences diseases, why some diseases are common in some regions and rare in others. For example, malaria is common in humid and rainy regions. Respiratory diseases are common in polluted industrial cities. One of the main aims of geography of health is to study the distribution of diseases. Diseases are not spread equally everywhere. Some diseases are concentrated in specific regions due to the climate, relief, and living conditions. For example, cholera is common in areas with unsafe drinking water. Dengue is common in cities like poor drainage and stagnant water. Geography helps us to understand where and why these diseases occur. Geography of health also studies the distribution of health facilities. It examines where hospitals are located, availability of doctors, access to medical services in rural and urban areas. For example, big cities have multi-speciality hospitals. Remote tribal areas depend on primary health centers. This uneven distribution affects health outcomes. Geography of health studies how natural and human factors influence health. The important factors which are include climate, water availability, housing conditions, occupations, etc. For example, polluted water causes diseases like cholera and hepatitis. Poor housing leads to spread of infectious diseases. Industrial workers face occupational diseases. Now let's see the nature of geography of health. Nature means the basic character and features of this subject, what kind of subject it is and how it is studies health. Geography of health is an applied branch of geography because it deals with real life health problems such as malaria in tribal areas. Geography of health is an applied branch of geography. This means it is not only theoretical but is used to solve real life problems related to health. For example, studying malaria in tribal areas, studying dengue outbreaks in cities. The knowledge of this subject helps in practical health planning. Second point, it studies the spatial distribution of diseases and health facilities. For example, some districts have more hospitals while some have very few. Geography of health studies the spatial distribution of diseases and health facilities. This means it focuses on where diseases occur, where hospitals are located. For example, some districts have many hospitals, some remote regions have very few health centers. Thus, health problems are studied region wise, not randomly. Third point, it explains the relationship between environment and health, like humid climate supporting mosquito breeding. One important nature of this subject is to explain the relationship between environment and health. It studies how natural conditions influence diseases. For example, humid climate supports mosquito breeding, polluted air causes respiratory diseases, contaminated water spreads cholera. This shows that health is closely linked with environment. Fourth one is maps and simple data are used to explain health patterns clearly, such as disease maps show malaria prone areas. Geography of health uses maps, charts, and simple data to explain health patterns. Maps like health problems maps makes health problems easy to understand. For examples, disease maps showing malaria prone areas, maps showing distribution of hospitals. This visual method helps in better analyzing and planning. Fifth point is it is socially useful as it helps planners and administrators to improve public health conditions. Geography of health is socially useful in nature. It helps government planners, health administrators, and NGOs and researchers. For example, identifying backward health regions, improving health services in needy areas, which may be helpful for the government as well as for the administrators to make a plans accordingly and remove the diseases from that regions. Thus, this subject directly contributes to public welfare. So, now let's conclude the what we have studied in these lectures. In this unit, we understood that health is not only a medical issue but it is closely related to place, environment, and human activities. Geography plays an important role in understanding why health conditions differ from place to place or region to region. We learn the meaning of health and how the World Health Organization defines health as a complete physical, mental, and social well being. Thus, this shows that health is a broad concept, not limited to absence of disease. We also studied the close relationship between human health and geography. Climate, water availability, pollution, settlement pattern, and level of development strongly influence the health of people. For example, mosquito-borne diseases in humid regions and respiratory diseases in polluted cities clearly show this relationship. Geography of health was defined as a branch of geography that studies the distribution of diseases and health facilities and their relations with environmental and social factors. This makes geography an important subject for understanding public health problems. We also understood the nature of geography of health. It is an applied and socially useful subject. It studies health problems in a spatial manner, uses maps and data, and helps planners and administrators in improving health conditions. Thus, geography of health helps us to identify disease prone areas, understand causes of regional health problems, plan better health facilities, improve the overall quality of life. Finally, this subject makes us more aware, responsible, and health conscious citizen, which is very important for the development of society and the nation. So students, today we discussed the important concepts of this topic. I hope you have clearly understood the points we covered in this lecture. Please read the notes once again and at home and try to connect the concept with real life examples around you. This will help you understand the subjects better. If you have any doubts or questions, you may mail me at given email address. I will try to respond as early as possible. In the next lecture, we will continue with the remaining part of the unit. Till then, take care, keep studying regularly and stay healthy. Thank you and see you in the next video. Goodbye.